The bill has moved quickly through both chambers, and a full vote could happen as early as next week. The legislation was proposed after last fall's controversy over Vanderbilt University Medical Center. The institute was providing gender-reassignment treatments to teenagers. Conservatives alleged Vanderbilt pushed the treatments as a money-making scheme. It was Matt Walsh who first exposed the hospital's programs in a series of tweets in late September.
Just curious of your definition of if you feel like people are adults at 16 should...
Well, people are adults at 18, but actually your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. So we should be having a conversation about whether we should even be doing these surgeries to people at 18.
Walsh called performing such medical surgeries before someone is 18, quote, absurd.
Do you think that a 16-year-old can meaningfully consent to having their body parts removed? Do you? No?
State Representative John Ray Clemens asked Walsh about his educational background.
Well, my background that qualifies me to speak to this is that I'm a human being with a brain and common sense, and I have a soul. And so, therefore, I think it's a really bad idea to chemically castrate children. That is my experience.
Meanwhile, a former case manager at the Washington University Transgender Center at St. Louis Children's Hospital, Jamie Reed, says what is happening to children there is morally and medically appalling. Reed resigned in November after 4 years. She says she was struck by the lack of formal protocols for treatment. One of her jobs was to do intake for new patients and their families. She says sometimes clusters of girls arrived from the same high school, and many had multiple comorbidities such as depression, anxiety, ADHD, and eating disorders. Many were also diagnosed with autism. For transitioning, she says patients needed a letter of support from a therapist, usually one the hospital recommended. They only had to see the therapist once for the green light. The next step was a single visit to the endocrinologist for a testosterone prescription, and that's all it took. Reed says patients were told about some side effects, including sterility, but she now believes that teenagers are simply not capable of fully grasping what it means to make the decision to become infertile while still a minor. The hospital's website says not receiving support that upholds their gender identity puts the physical and mental health of kids at risk. Daniel Monaghan, NTD News.